Hey everybody, here's my Steam AK700 Pro that I'm still working on, putting together. Have I got any comments on the kit? Well, one sec. Looks bro. I did initially, when I opened it, I had a bit of a whinge about these little dings here. Nice fingernails. Anyway, forget that. Yeah, just a bit of bad luck there, I guess, but it was just on the one holder, and there's a little ding on the upper part of the swash. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but it's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, kit looks great. It's gone together great. There's loads of space for battery. Wiring's going to be tidy and easy. I might not even need to shorten the servo wires because there's all this space in here. I'm going with a rotor flight controller on this one. I don't know how other people feel, but I don't really like these antenna things at Steam. They're a bit drone style. I did put it on at first. You zip tie it there, and then you have, one second, you have two little straws here like that, and I never really like that. It looks like a bug. So I usually try and get them. Is it what, 45 degrees out from each other or something? But yeah. So anyway, let me unplug that. It's noisy. I'm trying to do it with one hand. There we go. So because I'm not using that thing, I'll be able to put the flight controller a little bit further back like that. I was confused then why it's not gone off, but it's I forgot about that. When it's on the computer, you can still let me think. I think the receiver works, but the servos don't, or something. Yeah, something like that. That's why the lights are still on, because it's getting half of it's being powered from the USB. Anyway, yeah, this cabling looks nice, easy. Like these each of these cyclic servos. Well, first of all, they're not going to rub on any spinny stuff here. The main shaft isn't exposed. So you can't. Let's show you from this side. There. So that's nice. So basically, let me try and get a pointing implement. So this servo wire, I reckon, is going to quite nicely tie to here and come under. Got sort of tie down bits here. All this space in here. One second. All this space in here for cables and flexes, wire, whatever, which is great. It just looks, yeah, unlike the 400, which I just looked at the wiring on that AK400, which I did in the end, and I really like it, which is why I got the 700. I like the heli overall, but the wiring was one of those things I was like, oh god, this is just going to be messy, ugly. And I got something that was okay in the end, but yeah, this looks like it's just a dream. But maybe that's just the thing with bigger helis, just more space. I've not got the ESC yet, so the ESC has its own plate, which I've got here somewhere. Still got the, sorry, see the mounting post, it's still got the screws in the side, so I can't actually fully sit it on there to show you, because it won't drop in because the screws are on the side still. There, yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't remember which way around it goes. I think it's that way, because you've got this little sort of curve out there for, I assume, the motor wires going under. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So I'm not sure, because the ESC, you've got battery wires, you've got 2, potentially 3 cables going back. Depends how well that's going to work, actually. So we've got the ESC's, you know, it's power, BEC power back into the flight controller stroke receiver. This is an all-in-one, this, which is great. The receiver's built in, but we've also got the RPM wire. And how's the telemetry going to work? Yeah, so there's potentially a bundle coming from that, so I don't know whether I will tuck them under here. I'm not sure how much room there is. This battery tray slides out, which means that this piece slides out, so I can't tie to that. And obviously I don't want to be touching up against the gears here, so we'll see. Might have room inside here. The packs are going to be in here. Obviously, it's two 6S 5 amp hour packs. But yeah, there might be room there. But yeah, looks good, hassle free. Like it. Parts aren't cheap. Like, you know, people are saying it's a 700, but the parts are cheap. They're not really. 20 quid for a main gear, 20 quid for a boom, 80 quid for blades. This is a massive step up in crash costs. Anyway, what I was going to say was, right, just two tiny little issues that aren't issues really, but just a bit, if anything, just a bit funny, a bit silly. Right, shut up. I'm really happy with this transmitter, by the way. It's the RS, and the Rotor Flight app, Lua script, looks great. Right, my two little issues that are neither here nor there. They're just a bit silly. One is the landing skid, bloody, I don't know what you call them now, metal bits. Right, the plugs in the end, the metal, and they're not a good fit. And the instructions tell you to use thread lock, which as soon as I saw it, I was like, what? Maybe super glue, but thread lock? I mean, there should be plastic, shouldn't they? There should be like tight fitting plastic plugs. So I thought, I'm not flying it anytime soon, so I'll add thread lock to hand. So just, yeah, put some in. Well, it's been about 5 days. Obviously it's not set. So, I mean, that's a bit daft. Like, it's aluminium into aluminium, and, you know, like, that one's a little bit tighter, but mostly they're just a loose fit, so surely that should be a plastic. You know, they go in tight, don't they? I forget what they call them now, but it's just standard tube end plugs, isn't it? So, but they've got like, wait, sorry. You see they've got like ridges on them, so they could have had like O-rings on them or something, maybe. Let me just try and clean that up a bit. I mean, it's fine, so I've got an idea, but look, I just thought, like, it's a bit daft really. So yeah, they could have had small O-rings on them maybe, although to be honest, I think with O-rings it probably just wouldn't go in at all. You see there's a bit of wobble there. So one idea I've had is maybe try some heat shrink on it, but again I think that'll be too tight. And the other, I'll just try some super glue. Just thought that was a bit daft really. So yeah, so that's that. And the other thing, which again, I don't think it really matters, but it's just another thing where I've been left scratching my head a little bit, right? Oh, sorry, I'll put it back on its side. Is the tail tube. Right. They want you to put these steel bushes on here where it passes through here, I guess for non-friction. I really can't see there'd be a problem anyway. I mean, these things are got a loose fit anyway, but they've got a steel tube, but it won't fit over. So mine has come with, and I don't know how it's supposed to come, but the ends are already on, and there's nothing about gluing the ends on yourself anyway. You can see I've had that in the pliers. I've had them in like the round bit of pliers there, and I'm thinking, well, you know, is this maybe not glued on? I'm supposed to slide this metal bit off to get, because I've measured, and this is like 4.95 and that's 5.02, so this bit is slightly oversized. I've not really measured the ID of the tubes, but here look. So this one's supposed to end up here, and the instructions just tell you to super glue that, CA glue that. You know, you slide it to where it needs to be for, you know, where you fitted these. And I don't know why they didn't just do it for us anyway, because you could always just, they're making out like that you need to decide where this is going to end up depending on, you know, like your movement of that control rod. But at the end of the day, you would just forget that, put them in a fixed position. You'd just move these to where they need to be, wouldn't you? So I don't know. So the only option I've got is to lightly sand one end or the other of these and see if they'll slip over, or just forget about it. But yeah, I mean, I've watched every build YouTube video I've seen, and everybody does everything, and then they never mention that. They just cut to it, and but they've all got them on. So everybody's managed it except me, which is it's a bit weird. But yeah, it doesn't in the guide in the instructions. It tells you to put these on, but it doesn't mention anything about putting these ends on and having to assemble this yourself. So I'm sure this is fully assembled, and these are CA'd on. They've got to be. And the only other thing I was thinking was, because you have to fit a threaded rod into this. I thought maybe this is a loose fit, and when the threaded rod goes in, it causes it to expand, and that's how this stays on. And that, you know, this should have slid off easily. But as I say, you can see I've had grips on there. I've really tried to get that off. But then I'm looking at them thinking, well, you know, on that one, you see how there's a tiny bit of like a gap there. You see there, as though it could go further down, whereas the other side is like all the way up. And I think one side there was a slight sign of like glue, not overspray, but you know what I mean, like there was the tiniest mark of like CA glue on here. So I knew for sure that, and it's all the way up. So I thought, well, if there is a side, an end that isn't pre-glued, then it's this one, but that ain't coming off. So, but then at the same time I'm worrying, I'm thinking, but what if it is supposed to come off? What if it's not on? What if it's not properly on and fails on me in flight? So yeah, sort of spent too much time on that really. So it's a bit daft, and I'm still a bit uncertain. But other than that, yeah, it's looking great. So my speed controller's not come yet. I've got a BEC. I got this just in case I was going to buy the Secure 200 amp ESC, which doesn't have a BEC. And then even then, some people are saying that they run a separate BEC on 700s anyway. So I was a bit unsure, and I thought I'll buy it anyway. Well, it's turned out to be dead handy because I'm playing around with a Rotaflight, wherever it's gone, thing now, in advance of getting my Hobbywing 180 ESC. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. Have I got the balls to actually fly it? I'm not sure at this stage. I need a lot. I need to learn more. I need to practice a lot more. But I also don't want it to just be a shelf queen. Kit looks great though. I think I've ordered a few spares for it now, but not many because they're so expensive. So I've not ordered a boom. I don't know why I can't just buy aluminium tube, but I can't find aluminium tube this thin. You think, because that's nearly £20, I think. And it's just an aluminium tube. You'd think I'd just be able to buy a tube and just cut it. All it's got is holes here, just to mount that on. So yeah, what I've googled, and everything's a bit thicker walled than that. Or even carbon tube. I can't find that diameter. I think it was like 35mm or something. 34 was it? Try not to scratch it. .34.5 OD anyway, which is key because well, OD and ID key, because that slips in the end, and this is clamped in these 2 clamps here. 1, 2, so it's got to be the right tube. Anyway, yeah, I'm waffling. So yeah, it's looking great. Oh, other thing, actually, I need to work on. The tail feels way too tight to me. The tail mech is great. I like it. It just looks nice. Very little slop in it. This ball sits in a recess here, as opposed to the usual pin in a spinny plastic bit. However, and it's not my ball joint here. Let's see if I can just whip that off. Yeah, not with that tool I can't. 1 second. I need to get some decent ball end pliers. These things are shite. Yeah, so that. Okay. Well, anyway, it's not my ball link here because I've reamed this, and I don't think it's these, so I'm not sure. You see, there's something on the angle there when it gets to right there. Obviously, it's not so good because it's now pushing up instead of out, I think. So it gives there. It means there's a bit of resistance right at the ends here, I think. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have a play with that, but just feels like, you know, on the other one, the 420, I reamed everything a lot. In fact, I had to. These were super tight on that. The links on the AK400. Did I just call it a 420? Mine's a 400, the direct drive one. Yeah, these were so tight, and I've got it really loose, you know. But yeah, this is going to need a bit of work or something. I've looked at the tightness here. They mentioned there were a couple of shims that you could use here, but they didn't seem right to me. Like, they contacted the bearing in a funny place or something, so I don't know. At the end of the day, I just didn't tighten this too much, but I've relied on the thread lock, I think. And it's better than it was at first, but it's still, like, that's not moving now, and now it's not. So that should be moving, right? Ain't moving. Needed quite a bit of force, so yeah, I know it's hard to portray that in a video, but yeah, anyway, yeah, it's looking good. Nice little project. Alright, thanks, bye.